Hello everyone! Welcome to the Mania 7K World Cup 2025 here in the round of 32 as we are going to be opening this this time with a match between, I believe that's Chile versus Finland. There we go, it is indeed Chile versus Finland. I am Siloas Kaels. Joining me is Toph Daddy. Hello there, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited to see this matchup here. Chile, seed number 10 versus Finland, seed number 23. Getting closer in terms of the overall performances from these teams. I took a quick look at the qualifier scores to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. And Chile, in a very well-rounded team in general, but showing some notably good scores in the accuracy department, especially those that Rice 1 and Rice 2 during qualifiers. And Finland kind of showed the opposite, where their strongest scores in qualifiers were actually the more difficult maps later on in the qualifier set, having a little bit of struggling as far as like accuracy goes. So I'm interested to see how they kind of play around that. Their hybrid play on the early game maps and qualifiers was quite strong, though. So I could see them kind of moving in that direction of like hybrid and long notes and trying to keep Chile away from being too comfortable with just the Rice.
Alright. I think Chile will protect. Okay, high score. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah, like I said, the accuracy from Chile extremely strong. Not surprising to see them wanting to go with protect the maybe most accuracy dependent map in this entire pool. But Finland's going to have a chance to protect something. I could see them maybe trying to protect Hybrid 3 here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that, given that their late game seems to be a little bit stronger than their early game. And Hybrid 3, definitely a lot more about that consistency and with some of the most difficult patterns in the pool outside of the actual tiebreaker.
Alright, I could see why you'd say that. I actually think something like Rice 4 could also be a protect, just because of physicality. But, now that you mention it, maybe Hybrid 3 really could work. Just not any of the LNs though, because LN seems to be one of their weakest skill sets. I'd say Rice 4 is also a viable protect.
Yeah, you could definitely see that, but really just depends whether they want to, be throwing their hat in basically the same ring as Chile in this scenario. The Rice 5 actually comes out as a protect here. So you were closer on the nose than I was. It looks like they are trying to keep it with the mixed Rice pick there, switcheroo. But they'll have a ban here. I could definitely see potentially 2 long note picks being banned out here. I could see long note 1 and long note 3 getting banned out in this scenario. Not really sure where else the bans would end up coming from for these two teams.
I think Finland's banning LN1 just because I don't know, LN1 is just a very hit or miss pick, especially for the lower seeded team, so I think LN1 could be a viable ban.
That's definitely true. I wouldn't be surprised there. Now, the question is whether they think they can gamble potentially and think that Chile might want to ban LN1 as well, because that's certainly on the table in this scenario.
Yeah, taking their time. I think it's either LN1, maybe Rice 2 if they're not confident in acting that.
Still waiting for that, looking to really have that decision. Oh, and LN2 actually comes out as a ban here, so getting rid of the higher physicality density long note pick in this scenario. Chile now with an opportunity to ban. Finland potentially looking at that that gamble that I mentioned, particularly trying to see if Chile would ban LN1 for them. But we'll have to see what Chile's strategy is here.
Interesting. I think Chile. I don't know what Chile's gonna ban actually, but maybe actually hybrid 3. Now that you mention it, I think one of the hybrids could be Chile's ban. Because I'm looking at the hybrids right now. They aren't the furthest apart in hybrid 2. But the hybrid 1, they are pretty far apart. Okay, that's actually interesting. So probably not the hybrid then, if hybrid 1 is one of the biggest advantages Chile has. Actually, I'll say Rice 4 could be Chile's fan at this point.
Definitely is possible. These teams definitely taking their time a little bit, making sure they have the right protects and bans at this point.
Yeah, they really are taking their time. It's a good thing though.
Hybrid 1 comes out as a ban from Chile there, so you were actually on the nose there.
Haha, well, that was surprising. I did not expect that. But honestly though, I have a feeling this ban... I'm not sure what to feel about that really.
I can understand it. Like I said, that the early game hybrids from Finland were probably their strongest as far as accuracy goes. So getting rid of one of the more straightforward hybrids that could be an accuracy battle for them makes sense in this scenario. But that does mean all 5 Rice picks are available, and they're immediately going to go for that protect high score coming out.
Okay, okay.
Ref, please.
That is...
There we go. Now we got the right map. High score coming out. Looking for that core jacks. Looking for pure accuracy here.
I can see why Chile protected this, but it's a very risky protect. Because, like, I don't know, this chart is very rarely banned, I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know how often it's been banned this weekend, but I think just in general, I've been saying this for a lot of the matches that I've commentated this weekend, but usually when a high-seeded team picks this against a lower-seeded team, I'm not super comfortable with the pick. Like, you can have all the confidence you want in something like this, but physically, this is not terribly difficult. I think Finland should have no problems keeping up with this, and it's the easiest map in the pool to get good accuracy on. And when your team's whole deal is that your early game accuracy, well, maybe not whole deal, but when a big advantage you have in this matchup, in Chile's case, is that their early game accuracy in general is better. This doesn't seem like the map that's going to give you the most advantage out of that. I would have potentially seen something like Rice 1 or Rice 2 give them a better, like, gap between the possible accuracies between these two teams. So we'll have to see if it works out for Chile. It's worked out for many of the top seeds so far, but only time will tell if this ends up being a little bit of a riskier pick for the Chilean side.
Fair enough. I just really hope that Chile knows exactly what they're doing when they pick this, which I'm sure they do. Just have to be very careful though, because I have to remember, if this isn't too physically hard, then I think they're just gonna hope that Finland finds mistakes as early as possible.
That would be the general goal. Got this intro coming through, nothing too hard yet, but it will transition into some pretty balanced patterns, I think, hand-wise, but it does focus on each hand at a given time, so we'll have to see how that fares for these two teams, but got quite a bit of build-up before we get there.
Alright, here we go. This is the first set of core jacks. And Krause finding a mismatched lead. This is what Chile has to hope that Finland keeps on finding, because the more mistakes you commit here, it's actually gonna deduct so much. And woo, this is a good sign of a protect for Chile already. Very good protect really here.
Yeah, very strong so far. 40,000 points of lead. Both players having extremely good accuracy. Bambi at the 99.97 on pace for that 999 score. And SemiX right behind at 99.94. Both holding out of the full combo, whereas Finland, both players not holding out of the full combo. Map does get up to the 400 combo. Krause getting there in this less dense section. But with a 50,000 point lead, already we might be looking at a potential need for a collapse in order for Finland to come back in this.
Yeah, this is a massive lead from Chile. Not to mention, like, the thing about core check charts is when you make one mistake, you typically find a few 50s in the middle of that. So, like, the amount of points deducted is going to be a lot. But can I just talk about the consistency of Chile right now? What in the world is this average team score?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Both players on pace for, I think, mid 998s now. With the 50,000 point lead going into the second dense part of this map. More balanced on each side, not really switching hands, more so just two-handed jag patterns, but not causing any issues for any players in this lobby. As soon as I say that, Map does find a break, but both of the Chilean players with basically perfect runs, 1.996.
That's not perfect. 80 and 42, okay. That's crazy. If you were to add the total of SepaX and Bambi FNF's 300 count, it would be lower than Krause's by, like, I think 60, because it's 122. Very impressive work. Actually, the ratios from every player was extremely good. Krause was the only player who has a 200 and a 100, and that's already saying a lot. I know this is a big lead on the Chile side, but this still doesn't mean that Finland didn't do well. They absolutely did a great job in at least having good accuracies there.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, just need to kind of clean up the messes, but for now, a good performance on the rice pick. Chile going to defend their first pick. Finland now with their first pick coming up. We saw a ban from Hybrid 1 from Chile. I mentioned that Hybrid 3 could be a good point, a potentially good point of attack for Finland, though there's quite a few maps in this pool that I think Finland might be comfortable with. You mentioned Rice 4 as a potential area of attack, which I agree with. I think it's a difficult decision to make, and Rice 2 actually being the pick here from Finland.
Alright, no-show Socrates Girl. This and High Score are two completely different charts. So I can see why Finland would pick another Rice chart. However, now that they've missed on something like that, I'm not sure if I can confidently say that this is a good pick for Finland this year. Just because I have a feeling accuracy-wise, Chile still has the advantage, although slightly. And now that we're seeing the Liuna, we could be seeing some changes here. So, alright, I just don't know what they're going for here, really.
We got some swap notes here from both sides. Dark Dave coming in for Chile, Liuna coming in for Finland. Map and Bambi looking to stay in for their respective teams. This map, potentially an interesting pick to see. It is only 1 minute and 41 seconds long, so very, very short, meaning that singular mistakes are going to be a little bit more impactful than they would otherwise. And that may be the right way to kind of go about it from Finland's side. If Chile finds a couple of mistakes in this map, you could definitely see that lead kind of swinging more favorably for Finland than when accuracy takes too much into account.
Fair enough, but again, we'll really only be able to see if this works or not, just from how they play from here. And I have a feeling this pick can really open a lot of doors.
I think Math missed the first note.
that's probably a misread or some lag happened. If that's the case, thankfully it's at the start, and good news for Finland, Dark Dave's accuracy is lower, so number one, misreads seem to have happened one way or another for both teams. However, it's just going to keep on going to test your fatigue as time passes on, just from how tense it can get.
Yeah, we do see all the players in the lobby right now holding on pretty strong. No combo breaks outside of that very weird first note miss from Math. But only about 9,000 points of lead as a result of the players able to keep on with the combo. But the accuracy lead pretty well in Chile's favor, just off the back of Bambi's 99.9 right now as we get into the densest chord stream of the map in this ending. And the accuracy is trying to be built up from the Finnish side. That lead kind of staying stable right around 9,000. Might need to be a couple mistakes from Chile for them to bring it back, but there's still a little bit of time left for that to be possible.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon. Every player is stabilized right now. Honestly, that first note miss, if it really was a real miss, it doesn't really matter just because of how much better Chile's accuracy is right now.
Yeah, I mean 5,000 points. I'm curious how many points were lost from just that opening miss. Very, very close. I think that's probably a fair pick from Finland. Just couldn't keep up with the accuracy of Bambi. That 1-200 run, absolutely insane.
Without that miss, I would have been like 989. So like that's an additional 1,000 points. And if Luna didn't find it 50 and 100, maybe Finland could have had a chance, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Chile takes the point out of sheer consistency. Very, very good performance on Chile there, holding on to that even with a very close advantage.
It's back to Chile's pick. They've got 3 Rice picks remaining if they want to stick with that direction. It's kind of hard to... I don't know what else Chile would pick outside of Rice. I don't know how comfortable they feel going into maybe an unknown category with the long notes and hybrids. Though Finland did ban LN2. Could see Chile potentially wanting to go with something like LN3, just to take advantage of what seems to be a sign of discomfort on long notes from Finland. But I'm not. I would almost expect them just to kind of stick with the Rice pool.
I guess so. I think Chile will go for LN1. I really just think that's a pick that could really benefit them.
And Hybrid 3 actually coming out from Chile. A bit of a surprise. I was talking about this as potentially being a place for Finland to kind of look for a pick. So I'm curious what Chile is thinking about going with this one. Maybe they just are under the thought process that their consistency has been looking good. They've got a swap in for Z on the Chilean side, so looking to keep that consistency, which has been good for them and has gotten them a couple points so far. This might be the pick to do it. 3 minutes long, difficult patterns all throughout. Has a little bit of that long notes that Finland showed a little bit of discomfort with the ban. Could be a good pick.
Could really be. Again, I think you're just banking on the consistency aspect here. 3 minutes 16 seconds. Definitely gonna test it a lot.
And here we go. Start of the longest map in the pool outside of the actual tiebreaker. 3 minutes of hybrid action. Layuna already finding a break in some of these long notes. Mafe also finding a break. Going to start off with a pretty sizable lead for Chile, but one of them is traded back by Bambi, and that's actually going to be a little bit more impactful, though. Layuna trading right back with it. And Mafe also finding a break. ZZ the only one really looking comfortable on this intro right now.
Probably the reason why they subbed in ZZ here was they saw that ZZ. I was about to say how comfortable ZZ was, but never mind.
Though, yeah, we can't say names anymore. We're just not allowed to.
In retrospect, though, Chile is still the more comfortable team, just based off the accuracy alone. That's actually a big difference if you think about it, especially with all the grace notes and how long this chart is. It's going to be this lead is just much bigger than it looks.
Yeah, 21,000 points on a long map like this is a huge lead. We do have 2 players now, or 1 player on each side above the 400 combo. Bambi and Yuna having pretty similar combos, but Layuna does find a couple breaks in this Jack section, dropping down to just above 98%. The accuracy well in favor of Chile right now, though. ZZ with a break does drop that accuracy down a little bit. Bambi now the only player in the lobby above 99%, helping extend this lead as no one's really able to keep their footing in this long nut section except Bambi.
Yeah, now that Bambi's held a footing that's really needed, even if ZZ is close to max accuracy, if this difference between Finland and Bambi FNF cannot be remedied, nothing can be done. Just because of how consistent Chile can get as well. And I noticed Finland tends to miss on stuff like this. And right on cue!
Yeah, we've seen that a lot, especially out of Mafe so far, but the accuracy is just kind of staying stable. It's all misses right now, as both of the Chilean players finding some footing. Layuna right behind them with a 1400 combo of their own, and Mafe now back up to the 400 combo, so I can't say any names. Mafe finds a break as soon as I say something about them, and Layuna also finds a break. Both the Chilean players still holding on to that combo bonus, and that lead is now at 70,000 with only about a quarter of this map left. Looking very strong for Chile. That consistency and capability on this accuracy and consistency just holding too strong for Finland to contest in this scenario. Bambi with a 3,000 combo. No! No! I said the name again.
I think I disconnected there, but did I just see Bambi miss at the moment you say 3,000 combo?
Sure did, and I don't even think Bambi made it to 3,000 combo. Unfortunately, I mega cursed them. And no one really being able to find footing. Layuna actually recovering quite a bit in that dense chord stream section, but it's not going to be enough. Too little too late, perhaps. Yeah, no 3,000 combo for Bambi, 2,972, as soon as I say
it. That's very unfortunate. What is fortunate for Chile, though, is even with all that, they were still able to get that point. And that's all that really matters for now.
Yeah, lock down that break point that they got on the second pick there. So now 3-0. Finland back to their own pick. Have a lot of places that they can attack, but that Rice 2 pick was very close. I almost would expect them to just either go Rice 1 or Rice 4 here. Or maybe they go with their Protect. I mean, they protected Rice 5 for a reason. They have to feel a little bit comfortable on it in that case. So, and really any of the Rice picks I think would be a strong pick for Finland in this case.
Fair enough. Finland picking... Okay, Rice 1? Yeah, that's a fair pick, actually.
Yeah, seeing how close Rice 2 was, I'm not surprised to see them going with another chord stream-esque pick. This one just a little bit faster, a little less dense, but still same kind of idea, and I think Finland's going to be able to hold on to the accuracy just about as well as they were on Rice 2.
So it's going to be Layuna still? Okay. Actually, wait. Didn't Layuna play No Sho Sakuretsu Girl? Or was it Kraze that did? Let me check. Okay, it was Layuna. So Liuna was consistent on the rice pick, so I can see why Liuna would play.
Dark Dave coming in for Chile. Finland not swapping either of their two players out at the moment. Yeah, Liuna and Moffitt were the team that we saw for Rice 2 earlier in the match, so not surprising to see them sticking with that. We see the MP start command, we see the players getting ready to go. Same squads that we saw in the earlier Rice pick on both sides. Chile looking to bring it to match point, Finland trying to do everything they can to keep their winner's bracket hopes alive. They would still get another chance on the 5th map, but seen this a few times this weekend. 4th pick, fourth pick in the match, and if Finland loses, they're going to be giving match point over to Chile on Chile's pick. That's going to be a dangerous position to be in. But already at the gate, Dark Dave actually finding a very early miss. Both players on Finland holding strong. Bambi as well. Accuracy and combo in favor of Finland for now. But we still have quite a bit of time before we get into the more consistent streams that happen in the second half.
Yeah, actually, that's a very uncharacteristic miss at the start. Especially since that's the part where you should really be able to rack up some combo. Oh, but Bambi FNF fighting another one, that's actually really scary. And I think this pick could really work for Finland. It really is right now. Ack advantage with combo advantage.
Yeah, 18,000 points. Actually, both players on Finland with better accuracy than both players on Chile on top of the combo breaks from the Chilean side. So looking like a very strong pick so far. But Liuna during the break does find a miss and trades one of them back. But Mafe still with the full combo as we get into the more consistent streams here in the second half. This is where the metal is really going to be tested as everyone starts to build up their combo. Bambi just about at 400, Liuna right behind him. Dark Dave finding some consistency with both the accuracy and the combo, and the lead now staying just about stable at 15,000, but Bambi finds another break, and that's going to extend the lead for Finland as we just have about a quarter of the map left, and all Finland needs to do is hold steady, and they'll get their first point in this match.
Yeah, Math has been very consistent. The only full combo that's left. Thankfully, okay. Please tell me no one's missing on this ending, because I'm getting nervous right now. This ending is really difficult to execute, and I just know some people can find troubles in there. Here we go. This is the ending. Make or break. Oh, Math is dropping to 200.
But still holding that combo. The lead is shrinking slightly, but they had enough of a buffer that a 20,000 point lead is maintained in Finland. Gonna get their first point and live to see at least one more of their own picks.
Yeah, I got so nervous in that. I thought something bad was gonna happen, especially when Math was starting to drop those 200. I got so nervous there.
Chile will get an opportunity to pick. They performed very well on Hybrid 3. I mean, they've been performing well on pretty much everything they've picked, but with that Rice win for Finland there, I would imagine. Okay, LN1, a very quick pick from Chile there, knowing exactly what they want to go in, but this will be our first taste of full long notes here. And this one, very difficult to coordinate. Got the inverse pick here coming out.
Great pick for Chile here. This is, I think, a pick that really benefits Chile overall. So we're just waiting for everyone to get ready. I really like this pick for Chile episode. once again, just waiting for everyone to get ready. I just hope that everyone here is adept to full LMs to an extent.
And we see who Kelly coming in for this inverse pick for Finland. The only swap out we see so far, and as I said in the chat, their MWC debut, so looking to put a performance on, and I'm interested to see what they're able to do here. New player coming in for a potentially unorthodox pick here, with the inverse category being a little bit of a new addition to the 7K World Cup.
And I'm really looking forward to see what they bring here to the table for their MWC debut. I'm really excited to see a great performance from everyone here. So here we go. Oh, okay. This is an interesting dynamic here already. Seems to be that the bottom row is struggling a bit more compared to those in the top. However, it seems like, I don't know the process, Hoop Kelly is holding onto it better than Dark Dave here.
Yeah, and actually building up that accuracy, does find a break to trade one of them from Dark Dave. Bambi the only FC, but Liona's accuracy doing a good job of kind of staving that off. Really, we're going to be watching that bottom row, like you said, about a percentage of difference in accuracy. Looking for those combo breaks. Dark Dave does make it up to the 400 combo, but Liona finds a miss, and then Lead's going to swap over to Chile as Bambi's consistency holds on extremely strong, and Hukele also finds a drop. We get some more of this inverse as Dark Dave finds a lot of great footing back up above the 98%. I don't know if that was a real miss. Those are real misses, though, and that's a huge drop from everybody, as Liona the only one able to hold combo through those patterns.
I'm actually surprised that this is very close, because this tends to be a chart with big differences and all that. But those misses from Hukele and even Liona is going to give it back to Chile. Actually, average accuracy-wise, I think it's actually almost the same. But Hukele cannot keep on missing, because this lead is just gonna grow much more for Chile if this keeps up.
Liona's the one to drop there, and both of the Chilean players finding some great combo, both above 400, as Liona and Hukele are trying to build up to the 400 combo again. Dark Dave does find a miss, but it is traded immediately by Hukele, and Bambi with an extremely high accuracy, 99.63%. is going to be able to hold it together for the Chilean squad and bring them to match point, but it is Finland's pick here.
Yeah, that was a pretty anticlimactic ending. It's kind of interesting too, because I think Finland actually had the better accuracy, like ratio to 100 count wise, but way too many misses for Finland there.
We'll have to see what Finland wants to do. They performed very well on Rice 1, and I imagine they're going to stick around that zone. I mentioned last time, Rice 5 was their protect. I wouldn't be surprised to see that come out just as a comfort pick, especially having seen how well they were able to perform compared to Chile on Rice 1.
I think it's either Rice 4 or Rice 5. Either one of them makes sense.
I mean, at this point, if you're in Finland's shoes, you will eventually pick both, I think, if you want to stay alive in the winner's bracket at this point, because Finland has 2 picks left. They're going to have to get a break point from Chile, but their most comfortable is definitely going to be those Rice picks, and that protect does come out here. Rice 5 holding on to any hope that they have to keep themselves alive in the winner's bracket with Rice 5.
Okay, yeah, that's your protect. That, I think, yeah, kind of something you have to do, especially since you're in the verge of losing this match, getting set to lose this bracket. And you do not want to be in that position regardless of what seed you are.
See a couple swap. Well, yeah, we see a couple swap outs. Mafe coming back in. ZZ also coming back in. So one swap in from each side as we see the MP start command. Finland doing everything they can to stay alive. Need to take this point as well as the next 3 to even force a tiebreaker. Chile just looking to lock down this match, but they have a tough Finland team on these rice picks to get through. Luckily, they will have their own pick, even if they aren't able to take this one. But if I was in Chile's shoes, it'd be really nice to just finish out this match. So I can imagine they're going to be putting everything on the line here.
So yeah, here we go. Let's see if Finland's Protect will really work on them.
You see some good starts from both sides. Slight accuracy advantage looks like for Chile at the moment, though the accuracy is building up for Layuna, who dropped a little bit early, but does find a break on that burst. And Chile going to take a very small lead right out the gate. That was right before 400, so it's going to basically be as if it's a full combo reset for Layuna. That's going to give Chile a nice lead going into some of these trickier patterns.
It is indeed very tricky, a lot of grace notes and all that. Unfortunately, that's where Layuna found the mistake already. Not to mention, accuracy advantage is on the Chilean side. It's just starting to increase, especially with Layuna starting to decrease in that accuracy department. But I wouldn't call this a safe lead just yet. 15,000 points of a lead is very erasable if any mistakes happens from Chile here.
Absolutely, it is definitely. Map is short enough that 18,000 points, probably about 2 misses of room that they have, but we still have a few pretty tough patterns, especially towards the end. So we got some light core string here that both teams have looked very comfortable on all match. So we're just waiting for it to kind of build up as this final third goes through. We still see 3 full combos. Mafe and ZZ around the same accuracy. Really, the difference is just Bambi FNF's incredible accuracy and the misses from Layuna so far.
Indeed, that's all. That's the only miss we've seen so far, but time is starting to run out. And if Finland cannot increase that accuracy, and if Chile cannot find any mistakes, then this lead will stay intact with Chile. The patterns are starting to get more difficult, but time is also running out, so I'm not sure if this is enough.
Time is running out. We got a little bit of that dense chord stream, but both Chilean players holding very strong through it. Mafe doing what they can to hold on to the combo, but just a few patterns left. It might be too little too late. Protect does not work out for Finland, and Chile going to win the match 5-1 and move on to winners round of 16. Finland, fortunately, not knocked out of the tournament yet, put up a great performance and will just be moved down to the losers bracket for round of 16, where they will be fighting for their tournament lives.
Indeed, that is where they'll be going in the losers bracket, but thankfully, no one's eliminated yet in this round. So that's still a great thing, don't you think? Like, still something they have to be happy about.
Yeah, and I mean, Finland, I mentioned this, but Finland had some very good scores on the more difficult qualifiers. So if they're able to kind of keep themselves alive in the losers bracket, I could see them being a little bit of a tough cookie to crack when they get further on in the tournament. But they'll have to put everything on the line. They've got to make it past that losers round of 16. But outside of that, congratulations to Chile. Looking forward to seeing what they can do in the winners bracket next weekend. But that's going to be it for this short block of matches. We've only got one left for the tournament before Showcase, and that's going to be happening in about 2.5 hours. So looks like that's Vietnam versus Canada, if I'm reading this correctly.
Wait, let me see. That's Venezuela, I think.
Venezuela versus... Okay, it is Venezuela versus Canada. Sorry, I got that wrong. I got the code wrong.
That would be like 2 a.m. in Vietnam. I don't think anyone would want to play a tournament at 2 a.m.
That's true. But yeah, Venezuela versus Canada going to be our final round of 32 matchup for the weekend. Like I said, in about 2.5 hours. So we'll be closing out the stream before that, and then we'll have that match and the round of 16 showcase. Do you have anything left to say before we sign off?
Well, that was quite a mouthful of matches. Oh my goodness, I've been here since that 12 UTC match, and I don't regret commentating for these set of matches. I'm so happy to see the different players performing at their best, upholding the tournament spirit at its finest. I'm so happy to see all of these players giving it their all, and I hope that we see the same on this final match between Venezuela and Canada. Good luck to every team here. I hope they all have fun, and I can't wait to see what both Venezuela and Canada have to offer.
Yeah, I'm really excited too, and I think everyone else in chat should also be excited. So make sure to come back 2 hours from now at 19 UTC for the last match, Venezuela versus Canada, and the showcase for Round of 16. See you guys then.
Thanks so much for that.